Hey guys, Jay here, welcome to EonsOfBattle, and it's no secret I love me some Games Workshop models. I love most models, but Games Workshop has a unique pedigree of thousands of miniatures in their catalog. So in this video I'm going to rattle off my top 5 best and top 5 worst Games Workshop models. Alright, let's get into it. I want to get the negatives out of the way first. Now these aren't models that are bad, they're just models that I don't like. At all. Also, all the models are going to be 40k. I think Age of Sigmar might be in my future, but for right now, it's 40k all day, every day, baby. Let's start out with a big old bang. The Khorne Lord of Skulls. I almost get it. It's a Baneblade Centaur. That's definitely chaosy, but come on, it's just so lame. Why does it have to look like this? His stubby little arms can't touch his tracks, and he can't bend at all. What's he gonna do with that chain axe? At least knights can bend at the knee. Why is he carrying it in a giant fist? Is he gonna put it down and scratch his ear? He better not, because he can't reach the ground to pick it back up. Imagine this thing straining under its massive hydraulics to pick up its chain axe. This thing is so bad that Forge World tried to step in and fix it by adding some legs. Also, in some Tzeentchian levels of fate manipulation, the Forge World model, the Titan Demon Engine, is 2 inches taller and is somehow cheaper than the Games Workshop plastic kit. Number 2, the Tyranid Tyrannocyte. I mean, it's just a big booger with Tyranid bits stuck in it. If I didn't know better, I would have thought that this was an admirable attempt at kit bashing a spore pod from the old 5th edition Tyranid book. Also, this has nothing to do with anything, but doesn't it look a lot like the Gun Fortress from the old Star Wars game, Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds? It can't just be me, right? Someone else has to have played this game. This is also the only Tyranid model I don't like. Number 3, the Space Wolves Wulfen. Space Wolves are super awesome. They are the Emperor's executioners, and their blue-gray frost weapons are the last thing many a heretic sees before their demise. These 5 furry fanfictions, on the other hand, these guys... woof, these guys. I know they're suffering from the Canis Helix affliction, but really? They don't look like werewolves, or space marines. They look more like they're from the 2019 Cats movie. I hope they're house trained. Also, this is one of the worst examples of monopose. You get 5 unique sculpts, and that's it. Number 4, the Grey Knight's Nemesis Dreadknight. Now this one's going to be a problem for me, because I collect Grey Knights, but wow. Games Workshop really stepped up their mech game with the Imperial Knights, because this thing looks like a robot baby strapped to another robot baby. What's there to say? The legs are too long, the torso's too small. Grey Knights are the most heroic Space Marines, and no one looks heroic with their feet dangling. Also, this is another level of ridiculous, but what is there to be gained by putting on Terminator armor and then getting into one of these things? You're wearing the best armor the Imperium can provide, and then you're just getting into another robot. This kit's getting a little old, and I think it shows. I think Games Workshop has definitely gotten a lot better at making these sort of mechs. Number 5, the Primaris Invictus Tactical Warsuit. This god-dang one, actually looks pretty cool. But I still hate it. Why do we even have Dreadnoughts now? Why do Space Marines need to get mangled up before being entombed when any Marine can just hop in a personal mech suit and be off to the races? Why even have a black carapace? Just put the guard in these things. It used to be that being a Dreadnought sucked hard, but they were so useful that the Imperium indoctrinates Space Marines into wanting it above all else. Doesn't matter anymore. Hop in, hop out, just don't forget the keys in the ignition. These things suck, and the horrible icing on top is that they look really cool. Alright, that was rough. Although, it was kind of hard to find 5 models I really didn't like. Alright, now, let's get on to the good stuff. Number 1, Warp Talons. I love Warp Talons so much. I'm not a Chaos player, but I always keep my eyes out on the secondhand market for shots at picking up way too many of these guys. They look completely dangerous, and just landing in the enemy lines would be devastating before they even activated their Lightning Claws. And speaking of Lightning Claws, these actually look the part. Loyalist Marine Lightning Claws look super derpy. They're power fists with a hair comb stuck on the end. These look like claws. And you get a couple of different styles. You get some X-23 claws, some pitchforks, and some Freddy Krueger fingers. These dudes are an absolute blade NATO. And they can fly too. What's not to love? These models are just as likely to draw blood from you as your opponent, and I think that's beautiful. Blood for the Blood God. Number 2, Imperial Knights. I love them. These models are new. 2015 is when they dropped, and they are now synonymous with 40k. If 40k was lacking in anything, it was mechs, and they nailed it. They feel proper grimdark, and the idea that these are noble knights of the round from a bygone age, incredible. Games Workshop has dropped a couple more over the years, but my favorite is still the Battle Cannon Chainsword, the First Knight. And these give Imperial players a fun flagship to collect without having to go to Forge World and spend 3 times as much. Number 3, Space Marine Centurion Devastators. Alright, stop. Don't post your comment yet. I know these guys are divisive, but I love them. Mech suits for guys already in mech suits. But I will admit they're not perfect right out of the box. You have to lengthen the legs a little bit, but it's worth it. When your opponent is staring down the many barrels of 18 bolt gun shots coming from a single model, what's not to love about that? When I march these up the board, I want people to charge me, so that I can see the look on their face when I roll my 54 Overwatch shots. Number 4, the Humble Sentinel. An oldie, but an absolute goldie. The Sentinel is the most adorable little gun platform this side of the Cicatrix Maledictum. Games Workshop nailed the look of the legs, and they look totally believable, and that they're capable of some pretty good speed. I know when I was a wee lad, I would watch the AT-ST scenes from Return of the Jedi over and over and over again, and now I get to play those on the tabletop. I love the open-topped and the closed varieties. It's just a lovely little model standing proud over a sea of guardsmen heads. Whether Cadian, Catachan, Vostroyan, or cultists, these guys will be sure to give you the old razzle-dazzle with their long legs. And number 5, the EOB Space Marine Dreadnought. These guys are 40k. I love them with all my heart. Whether vanilla, venerable, ironclad, or even contemptor, these squat little gun carriages are perfection. A walking sarcophagus with guns bolted on the sides just warms my little heart. I own 8. Mostly the venerable kit, which gives you tons of options. And I even have a few metal ones that weigh about a pound. These little cuties are exactly why I love 40k so much. To think of a Space Marine going from physical perfection to a stumpy little robot with barely a hint of humanity and loving it is just so wonderfully grimdark. You can take double las, big old plas, missiles please, autocannons, or just a heavy bolter for some reason. These guys bring the firepower and walk it up the tabletop. These guys are the purest defenders of humankind and are excellent tennis players, because even in death, they still serve. Man, Games Workshop makes some great models. So please let me know below what are your favorite and least favorite models in the Games Workshop range, and let me know how wrong all my picks were. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.